That's a good.
Okay, let me record. Okay, I'm just gonna start it. I kind of, I don't even know. Like, I'm like, I can't even talk to anybody on here. Next time, join me, so I'm not alone, guys. No, but how would you say? Oh, so it's me and it's my sister Elizabeth, and so you'll be able to hear her. And I want to go over the story of Joseph because the story of Joseph I feel has a lot to do with with faith and
Trusting the process.
Yes, trusting the process and forgiveness too. I feel like it has to say that. Oh man, because so many of us are quick to hold grudges. But like how would you say your faith is like right now? Like, do you feel like
Mm, I feel like I've always believed in God, and I've always understood that Jesus is the Son of God, and God sent Jesus to die for our sins. And I feel like just recently I've been praying for knowledge a lot. So I decided to start reading the Bible cover to cover. And every time I read, I pray for knowledge so that God could use me as a vessel so that I can spread the word and be knowledgeable and bring people to Christ.
I feel like lately, like that's been my calling. Like I just need to plant the seeds. I need to plant the seeds because like I told you, all these people believe in God, but they don't understand why they believe what they believe. And that's why I really want to do this because so many people are struggling, man. Oh, like there's so many people we need to pray for that are sick.
Mhm.
But when you read the book of Genesis and you got to the story of Joseph, okay, so we're gonna be reading from Genesis. I'm gonna like just read different scriptures, but it starts in chapter 37 because it's gonna take a long time to read the whole chapter, and we don't have that time, but I want to go through the main scriptures that show where God's worked all together, even the bad. Because and then I think like a lot of people don't understand too is like back in the day when like the people had God's blessing, God would change their name. Like Jacob became Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jacob became Israel. And so Jacob was loved by God and he was blessed. Wait, didn't Jacob trick his brother? Or I think Jacob tricked his father into giving him the blessing instead of his brother.
Mm-hmm.
So in these days, God would give somebody the blessing, and that person had the ability to bless their son, whichever son they chose. And Jacob had a brother named Esau.
Jacob's the one who had the wrestling with God.
Yes. So Jacob, he struggled in trusting God, huh? And God favored Esau.
Mm-hmm.
And their father was supposed to bless Jacob. No, Esau. But did he get him drunk? Or what did he do? I think he did get him drunk, didn't he? They got their father drunk.
I don't think so.
Oh no, that's the sisters that got their father drunk so they
no.
could get impregnated.
Yeah.
That's another story.
Yeah, so I remember that one. No, yeah.
Oh man, it's horrible. Like all these horrible things. There's so many horrible stories in the Bible. And it's so scary, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm bad, but I'm not that bad. But
Oh, that's lit.
I don't remember. Esau comes to meet Jacob. Hmm. I don't know, but so Jacob, he tricks his father so he could be blessed. So then later, Jacob has kids, and he has a lot of boys, huh?
12.
12 boys. Is that the 12 tribes of Israel?
Oh.
And I'm learning too, guys. So
And next time I'll take notes.
yeah. I tried writing notes, but not the ones that I need right now. But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him. Oh, let's see. So Jacob has kids, and Joseph is Joseph his first son? Joseph is one of his, no, he's the youngest. Joseph is his favorite son. Joseph is his favorite son, and he has, I think, 5 other brothers. Let's see. It says Judah's whole. Huh.
No, it doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
It just says Jacob had 12 sons.
He had 12 sons, but it does say that Joseph was his favorite. So Jacob had kids, 12 sons. Joseph's the favorite, right? Well, Joseph is favored, and his brothers are jealous. His brothers get jealous. And in Genesis 37, verse 12, it says, Then his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem, and Israel said to Joseph, Are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Come, I will send you to them. So he said, Here I am. Then he said to them, Please go and see if it is well with your brothers and well the flocks, and bring back word to me. So he sent them out of the valley of Hebron and sent them to Shechem. So what that's saying is Jacob, which is Israel is Jacob, he sends Joseph with his brothers. He tells them, like, go check on your brothers because they're over there selling stuff. And then so he goes. Oh, it's Amanda.
Yay!
Yay! Hold on, this made my heart happy.
So just Jacob or Israel sending Joseph to go check on his other brothers just shows how much like Joseph was like his right
Favored,
hand man.
yeah. Joseph was favored. He is like, dude, like, go check on your brothers because they're supposed to be selling, but they're not. Hi, Amanda. I love you. And I know you have the camera off and the sound off, but we're talking about Joseph right now, how his brother Jacob and father Jacob sent him to go check on his brothers while they were selling stuff. So we're about to talk about the part where his brothers sell Joseph.
Oh, we're getting to it. Wait,
Yes.
so this is in the book of Joseph, right? Because I
It's
barely
a-
grabbed my Bible.
It's the book of Genesis. We're in Genesis 37. And then
Okay.
I'm in, yeah. I'm like, I'll let you grab your Bible.
Yeah, you could continue. I'm gonna go back and mute myself, and then I'll just chime in whenever.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
wanted to ask you real quick. So you're in Genesis 37?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And it's verse 14. And we're explaining how, like, because Jacob sends Joseph, like, that shows that he favors Joseph. So Joseph, he finds his brothers. Oh yeah, they're not there. So a man finds them wondering, on verse 15, he says, now a certain man found him, and there he was wandering in the field, and the man asked him again, saying, what are you seeking? So he said, I am seeking my brothers. Please tell me where they are feeding their flocks. Sorry, my friend. Let's see. Oh man.
To Dothan.
Let me see. My friend Debbie.
Oh.
She said that she's having trouble. She just got out of work and I don't know. But anyways, so hopefully she could get on, even if we video chat on my phone. But okay, so let's see. So where is it where he finds his brothers now when they saw them?
So the guy tells him like, oh, they're not here. They went to Dothan. So then Joseph goes to
Dothan.
To Dothan, and that's where he catches up with them.
Okay, so then he catches up with his brothers, and when they see him, they start plotting against him. They conspire against him to kill him. Then they said to another, look, this dreamer is coming. Come, therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit, and we shall say some wild beast has devoured him. We shall see what will become of his dreams. But Reuben heard it and delivered him out of their hands and said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said to them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit, which is in the wilderness, and do not lay a hand on him, that he might deliver him out of their hands and bring him back to his father. So it came to pass when Joseph had come to his brothers that they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him. And I think the tunic was really like spiritual, wasn't it? Like I think the father or like I can't remember what story, but they would bless them with the tunic, like in the more colorful or something, like the more spiritual it meant. I can't remember the exact meaning. So then they took him and cast him into the pit, and the pit was empty and there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat a meal, and they lifted their eyes and looked, and there was a company of, how do you say that? Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels, bearing spices, balm, and myrrh on their way to carry them down to Egypt. So Judah said to his brother, what profit is it if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him. For he is our brother and our flesh. And his brothers listened. So they end up selling him instead. And when they return back, they take Joseph's tunic and they kill a kid. They kill some goats and they dip the tunic in blood. This is all in verse 31. They dip the tunic in blood. And so they plot, so they're going to take this to their father so they could say like, here, like he's dead. Some like a wild animal killed him. And so then later, so while all this is going on, Joseph he becomes imprisoned, doesn't he?
Yeah, so they sell him, and basically the who was it that bought him? Who was his
Reuben?
who? He was
I don't know, hold on. Remain in your window. Judah. Joseph becomes a slave in Egypt. But he saves the Pharaoh somehow. He's in like, or he saves somebody. He's a slave in Egypt. And
there's a man that I know who you're talking about, because the man that he saves, he tells the king about the dreams that are coming, because he has
and he says like, remember me, and he's like, I will surely remember you when I'm with the Pharaoh or something like that.
He's a slave, and then he goes to the dungeon or the jail or whatever.
Yeah, the dude that brought his wife was a HOE. And she went in when he was in the shower, and she tried sleeping with him, and he was like, "Whoa, girl, you a married man. I'll for sure die if I commit the sin with you." And he ran out butt naked. And then she said that he tried to hit her up and commit adultery with her. So they threw him in prison. But the guy had
Oh
favor on
yeah.
him.
She
Yeah,
was all
because
she tried to
he
set
knew
him
how
up.
his
She was
wife
on
was.
there because he didn't want to do anything with her.
Huh.
Yeah. So it was like it was a setup at that time. So she got upset, and then she ran away, or he ran away from that. Then he ended up in jail, and that's how he met the Pharaoh, because in the jail they were traveled around that he was able to tell the vision of dreams and what they meant.
Yeah,
So
because he was
people,
locked up with someone, and then he had whoever he was in there with had a dream, and then he was like, "Man, I wish I knew what this dream meant." And then that's when Joseph's like, "Well, I could tell you what your dream means, what you dream of."
yeah,
And then he's like, "This is what it means," and then it came true. So then I think, who was that guy? He was like the the one that holds the cup to the king, to the
To the
pharaoh.
Pharaoh.
He's the one who like holds the
and
wine
a
cup or
baker.
whatever.
Yeah,
So then
there's
he
the
ends up,
baker and another dude.
yeah,
That
so he
white.
ends up getting out.
The chief butler.
Chief butler. And he ends up getting out. And then that's when the pharaoh was like, "I had a dream and I want to know what it means."
So he's like, oh yeah, I know about this guy.
And
Oops, I forgot.
he's like, he told him, "Tell the pharaoh about me," and he forgot. And then until that dream came out that the pharaoh was like, "Oh, I wish I knew." And he's like, "Oh, actually, I forgot about this guy."
Yeah, the dream was of 7 cows, and it was like that was God saying like he's gonna
7 years old.
7 years they have to store as much as they can, and then for I think 7 years there was gonna be a famine that will be very severe. So then Joseph earns the crust of the Pharaoh. So then the Pharaoh makes Joseph his right hand man. Like, and then so then later in chapter 42, Joseph's brothers, they think their brother's dead or like long gone. And
they're struggling
because of this famine, and it's so bad. It's so bad
that no one prepared for except for Egypt, because Joseph.
Yeah, so everybody had to come to Egypt so they could get help. So then Joseph's brothers, they had no choice, so they go. And then they see Joseph sees them, huh? See, but Jacob did not send his brothers Benjamin.
Yeah, so I think Joseph recognized them, but they didn't recognize.
Yeah, they didn't recognize him. And so but like, it's crazy because Joseph acts like he doesn't know them for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He acts like he doesn't know them. And it says that he cries, like he mourns his brothers. But he doesn't have a grudge against them, though. That's the thing. Like, and that I think that ties into us so much in life. Like, we're just struggling, and we could be mad at people for setting us back, but we needed that to happen in order for us to be set up how God wants us. Because so the brothers, they ask for help. And I don't know, I think Joseph does kind of mess with them too, though.
Why?
Because he kind of messes with their head. Like, he like makes them think that he makes them feel, or lets them feel, that he still has a grudge against them. That's how I took it. Where, let's see, let me find the scripture. Like, he makes up like, you shall not see my face unless your brother is with you, the youngest brother. Like, he threatens him, like, you got to bring your youngest brother, even though Jacob held his brother back.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. I don't remember, but I feel like it was who was the younger brother? Benjamin?
Benjamin.
Yes. And they had the same mothers because Joseph or his dad's other sons were from their handmaid because she was married to until like a certain age, and then they had Joseph, and then they had Benjamin. So you guys are right at the part where they're talking about where he's like asking about how the brother is and they don't know who he is yet.
Yeah, but I
Right?
feel like he wasn't holding a grudge. He was just like, I really want to see Benjamin, so I'm gonna hold these, send one back, and I won't release them until you bring Benjamin, because he really just wanted to see Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to see and feel him because he hadn't seen him since he was a baby. So he wanted to make sure that this is what I think. He wanted to make sure that he was safe and sound and that they would take their word and that they had changed to be the man that they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? Cuz like they in there it says that he can feel it in their hearts that they were of different men, but he had to test them because he didn't know if they were still gonna like if they would hurt Benjamin or him, you know? That's the way I read it. So I was like, yeah, you guys aren't wrong. Like I don't know if I would necessarily say he holds a grudge, but I feel like he forgave them the minute he saw them again.
Mhm.
But I felt like trusting them was a whole different issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then I know that where is it that Joseph reveals to his brothers. So and
No one, yeah, that's
it. Hi Debbie.
I can't speak.
Macaroni, you have to put the macaroni.
Okay, so then on chapter 45.
Hey, sorry, I couldn't talk earlier. It said that because I was driving that the host had muted me.
Oh no, it was your car. No.
Oh, okay. But hi, I was just wondering what passage are you guys
So we're in Genesis. Now we're up on chapter 45. So what we've been talking about is the story of Joseph, because Joseph was sold into slavery. I don't know if you're familiar with the story.
Yes.
Yes, where Joseph is sold into slavery to the Egyptians, and then he like helps out, becomes the Pharaoh's right-hand man.
Yes.
And we're at the part where he reveals to his brother, like on it's chapter 45 verse 4, and he says, and then he says, and Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joseph. Does my father still live? But his brothers could not answer him, for they were dismayed in his presence. Like they were terrified. They're like, oh shit, we're done for. But his brothers could not answer him. Let's see. And Joseph said to his brothers, please come near to me. So they came near. Then he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. But now do not therefore be grieved or angry with yourselves because you sold me here. For God sent me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years of the famine has been in the land, and there are still 5 years in which there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. And God sent me before you to preserve a prosperity for you in earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So then he goes on to say, so now it was not you who sent me here, but God. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh and the Lord of all his house and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. So Joseph knew that all of that he went through, all that time he waited, it got him exactly where he was supposed to be at the right time.
I thought Leanne was in here.
Yeah, I thought Leanne was on there too. I don't know what happened. But all right, we'll send her the link. No.
Yeah.
But I just think like
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I just love that passage because like so many of us go through so much in life and we don't understand it. Oh, like look at me, you know, I lost Kai and I don't understand it and it hurts, but what if the adopted kids that he's with, they needed him, you know, like God's like, you know what, let me make this girl have this kid, make him really loving so he could go and give all the love to these kids who need him. Maybe Kai has opportunities over there that I could never give him, you know? Like, I don't know. Only God knows. And
And it's
that's why,
just sometimes we don't see the bigger picture. God always says he has a
yes.
bigger plan for us. And we so to see what that plan is. We're seeing the small picture. We're walking in the little, our little world, but we don't see his vision and his plan for us that's already been set.
And I
Yes.
feel like this story not only like shows that we don't know the bigger picture and God has a plan and only he knows the reasons why, but it also shows that no matter what happens to you or what life throws at you, you need to remain faithful, because Joseph could have given up when he was enslaved. He could have, gone into a depression and never talked to
that person.
and could have ignored him, like, oh, I can tell you what your dream means, but I'm not.
But I'm bitter and I hate my life.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna help you because I hate my life right now. But
he could have, but no, he could have like how Amanda brought up why he was even thrown in there in the first place, because he didn't want to commit adultery. He could have been like, oh, I had nothing going for me, this beautiful woman, or I don't know,
my brother sold me, this girl wants me, might as well.
Like, this is all I have going for me right now. But he didn't, and because he remained faithful to God, without him knowing, he was taking all the right turns when it looked horrible.
And then can you imagine, like, being in slavery? Like, who wants to be a slave? And how do you do that trusting God? Like, how do you keep your faith through that? But that's why I love this story, because man, he became a powerful man and he saved his family. His family needed to sell him in order to do that. And I'm glad they had guilt, though.
Yeah, because that changed their hearts too.
It did. It did change their hearts. They're like, oh man. And that's where like forgiveness comes. Because, like, for instance, like my friend, I'm gonna send her the link too, and I was really upset when I had been saying I wanted to go to California. I had been wanting to go on, but then I'm like, I can't afford it. And then my friend's like, well, I have an Airbnb and you could borrow my car. And then at the end, it all fell through. But I was like, man, and like at the end, I was like, you know what? I'm still gonna go. And oh my God, like it ended up perfect. Like, it was a perfect trip to see whales and dolphins at the shore.
Sam, the cooking guy.
Yes, and Sam, the cooking guy. And like, I was mad at first. I was so hurt and I cried. I was so frustrated. And everybody's like, stop talking to her. But I know she's going through her stuff. And I forgive her because I really believe that God used her to push me to have those perfect moments with my kids. Like,
for you to have faith.
Yes. I just needed that push. And God knew. Oh, Amanda. But yeah, I know God uses all bad things for good. And like I don't know what's gonna come out of me and Kai. I keep praying for the day that he's gonna come. And I know if I keep my faith strong, it's gonna happen. But it's the time, the waiting that's hard. We're all gonna get through it. We know that, but it's just getting through it. And I feel like when we don't trust God and we try to do it ourselves, we end up prolonging the outcome. I feel like that. And then I wanted to read there's in Psalms 27:14 where it says, wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. And it has an exclamation, like that's God telling us, like, just wait.
Yep. It's not our time, it's God time. And man, that's perfect scripture, because it says, it waited, not only wait in good courage, just like I mentioned,
Yes.
Joseph was still in good courage. Going through his struggles, he was, still in good courage.
Yes. And like, how many times do we tell our kids, like, yes, we're gonna do that, just wait, just hold on, stop asking me. It's God with us, like, I already told you. But oh my God, like, and it's just hard because we're human and we go through the emotions and we go through, like, we get anxiety because we stop trusting in God, And I've learned when I start feeling like that, I just start praying. And I'm like, God, thank you for my house that I once prayed for. Thank you for my couches that I can sit on comfortably, the TV. Like, I just start naming things left and right. My car, like, just everything, my kids, I'm so thankful for my home. And then, like, my anxiety starts to ease. And I'm just like,
your worries.
yes.
God.
And it's easier said than done, but I think a lot of people are just so caught up in the feelings they're feeling at the moment, whatever pain, whatever, like, and we just stop trusting in God. But God knows that He knows we're impatient. He knows we're impatient.
Yeah. But then
yeah.
also, like, so Joseph revealed, back to the story.
Oh, sorry.
Joseph reveals himself finally. But then, like, he could have just said, okay, yeah, here's some supplies.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, like, now look at me now. And no, but he didn't do that. He's like, here's some supplies, and then I want you guys to come and live over here so I could take care of you. And my father, like,
yeah, he set his family up. Like,
yeah,
they were set for that whole generation. They were great. All because he forgave also. Because Joseph forgave. Imagine if he didn't forgive them and then, like, his family, the nations, like, they would not come from them. Because I believe that's how they become the 12 tribes of Israel, isn't it? Yeah. When Jacob dies, he blesses all of his sons with a certain way, and they become the 12 tribes of Israel. So when you hear the 12 tribes, this is where they came from. They were the sons of Jacob. That's crazy. And then I know this is crazy, but I was like thinking, so like it talks about like how the nations and stuff. I don't know. I know this is off subject, but if you thought of it, men were created to create nations. That's why they could have a million kids, like with anybody, because that's how it was in the beginning. They needed to be able to create the nations. And I know people are like, oh, there was incest in the book and the stories, but you know what? Like, they had their rules too. Like, if you were from the same mom, you couldn't procreate. Like, that was wrong. You had to have a different mom. And that's how, like, later it started getting watered down,
Yeah. And then also, like, they had, like, who was it that had like 700 wives?
Oh yeah.
And 300
how did they do it?
I forgot.
Ew. But they were alive a lot longer than us too.
I forgot 300, so whatever. I forgot what they were called. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. Right. I never thought of it like that. I'm just like, dang.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, the more I read the Bible, I'm just like, what? Like, oh my God. Like next.
But yeah, they had their rules because, like, David, even God says, David would live by my word, except for that one time.
Yeah, he fell into the lust. But yeah. So that's the story of Joseph. I think next week I want to talk about Moses and the Israelites and how the Israelites they could not get it to keep it together because they didn't have patience. It's like, wait on the Lord. You see him right there. And they still wanted to worship a false god. So I want to talk about that because I think it ties into
Moses.
I know. I really, yeah.
That's a good one for next time.
So next time we'll talk about Exodus and Moses and the Israelites. But I'm gonna send you the link also, Debbie, so you can catch the first part because I did record this. I need to upload it to my, I don't know, somewhere. I need to upload it and create a link. But thank you so much for joining me. Sorry you were having trouble. And I don't know, I don't have you muted, just so in case. Are you there?
I thought it said host muted you because you're driving. I was like, okay. I didn't know my phone did that. I'm sorry. I didn't know my car did that.
But yeah, I don't know. I hope you were able to enjoy some of it and get some insight or hear something that you needed to hear. I hope somebody gets a message that they're supposed to hear with us talking about the Bible, because like we're all learning.
Yeah, that did
Yeah.
not feel like 40 minutes.
I know it didn't feel like 40 minutes, and it's already gonna be 40 minutes right now. But I'll send you a link and I'll keep in touch with you. Send this to people, whoever you think, then hopefully they'll join next time I do this again.
We'll do a better job next time.
Yeah, sorry.
Will. That's all yours, Sunny. I'm here. Will do. There you go.
No, I like it because we could give each other insight on what we've read, you know, and like you take things a different way or understand things a different way. And I feel like it helps me too. And like you too, Debbie, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while then since I read this, but Amanda helped a lot too because she's like, this is, and oh yeah, I remember. It's
Yes.
like, this is what happened.
I love doing Bible studies with Amanda. I love it. But
yeah, I was like, no, he was in jail. How did he get there? Well, don't you remember? And I'm like, oh yeah.
So I'll try to set something up and I'll probably send it to you or something, like that way we could all have insight of what we're going to talk about so we could all be prepared. But
Yeah.
thank you for joining me. Be safe.
Thank you for inviting us. Bye.
Thank you for joining, for real. Like it means so much to me. But all right, take care. Drive safe.
Bye.